for those who are just tuning in, you are watching Arirang's special coverage of the ROK-U.S. Summit coming to you live from Washington, D.C. And for further discussion on that, let's turn back to Mr. Daniel Russel. So, Mr. Russel, overall, I want to ask you, how do you assess Washington's Washington Declaration unveiled today by the two leaders, pledging for stronger extended deterrence through the Nuclear Consultative Group as the U.S. leans towards non-proliferation in the face of nuclear threats from North Korea?
I think it's really important. It's the Washington Declaration, but it's not just declaratory. It's not just rhetoric. There's some real substance to it, and clearly the U.S. has gone a long way to reassure Korea, but also to reinforce the role of Korea as an ally, as a partner in contending with the growing nuclear threat from North Korea.
Right.
I think the consultative group means that Korean perspectives and Korean capabilities are going to be factored into the strategic planning from now on. There'll be new forms of cooperation, and there'll be new forms of training and exercises. These all are very significant. So it's important to make clear that the use of a nuclear weapon by North Korea would lead to an overwhelming response. But this goes beyond just words. There's now a place for the Korean military and the Korean national security team in thinking through what a joint response would be.
All right. And Seoul and Washington agreed on overwhelming actions against any nuclear attack from North Korea, as well as swift consultation at a leader summit level. And President Biden mentioned in his words the end of the regime if there's any nuclear attack. So what message do you think they are trying to send here?
I think the real message is not so much in the words, which have been used before, but rather in the fact of jointness, the integration of the U.S. military and U.S. strategic planning with the ROK military as well. I think these exercises, I think that the consultative mechanisms, which are new, will boost the credibility, boost the effectiveness, and therefore boost the deterrence of the alliance and of the nuclear umbrella.
Right, deeds and words. And the South Korean leader hopes for close cooperation, coordination in supply chains in light of the U.S. Chips and Science Act and the IRA. And the allies have also created a dialogue on technology, that is core technology that involves chips, batteries, and biotech. What do you say on the allies' further tightening of its partnership in the economic sector?
Well, it all adds up to one thing: strategy.
Yeah.
You know, there are terrific complementarities between the U.S. and South Korean industry and science, technology, and so on. But what really matters is having a shared strategy, is talking through where it is that we're trying to go and how it is that we're going to get there. I think having this emerging technology or advanced technology dialogue is important, and the fact that it's led by the national security advisors matters. That's a huge contribution. But it also goes hand in hand with some of the other aspects of the summit outcomes, including student exchange, including STEM training.
For future generations.
Absolutely. So I think it's, state visits are big deals, and they're rare. And it's obvious that a tremendous amount of thought and a lot of work went into this. This is not only a look back at the origins of the alliance. It's a look forward to where the two countries think they can go.
Right. And on the rather regional issue, President Biden thanked President Yoon for his, quote, political courage to mend Seoul-Tokyo ties. So what does South Korea gain from a change in its foreign policy?
Well, South Korea gains tremendous credit for the political courage that President Biden referred to, but what South Korea really gains is security and economic growth. Neither South Korea nor Japan or for that matter, the United States, can really be secure in the face of the significant threats that we all face if we're not working together. And removing the blockage, removing the impediments that had limited cooperation in the past is a huge step forward. I know how strongly President Biden feels about this because I accompanied him when he was vice president on his visits to Seoul and Tokyo in an earlier era, 2013, 14. And he was clear then, and I know he's sincere when he thanks President Yoon for what really was a hugely important breakthrough.
All right. And Mr. Russel, before we let you go, the Korean president said he hopes for security and peace in the Indo-Pacific region. Can we read this as the nation trying to up its contribution on a global stage?
I think it shows that Korea is now a global actor, a global pivotal state.
Yeah.
Korea has interests around the world, so what happens in the world matters to Korea, and Korea can make a difference in the world as well. So this broader, comprehensive, strategic alliance that is global, not limited to the Korean peninsula, it represents major progress. This is the direction that Korea has been moving in, and it's welcomed not only by the United States, but throughout the Indo-Pacific region and, frankly, throughout the world.
All right, Mr. Daniel Russel, Vice President of Asia Society Policy Institute, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And for sure, this meeting carries significance for the two countries in terms of security, the economy, and future growth. And for more of the day's other headlines, back to the Arirang studio in Seoul with our Kim Dami. Tami.
Indeed, Jungmin. On top of that, we do have more to follow on President Yoon's schedule in D.C. So do keep us posted, Jungmin.